So right about now, you ought to say, okay, Admiral, I'm with you. It's a dangerous world out there. What do you think? What should we do? What are the opportunities in this world? And here we begin to get into the good work of the Pioneer Institute. Because I would argue the first thing we should do to create security is not build another aircraft carrier. The first thing we should do is listen better. Listen better. Now, this is not Photoshop. This is an actual Belgian air defense system from about 60 years ago. He's listening for incoming aircraft. I offer it to you tonight as metaphor. The first thing we can do to create security is to listen, to understand the other nation, the other person, the other organization, to open to other ideas. Listen, what else can we do? We can do what you are all about at the Pioneer Institute, education. This is the Naval College in Newport, Rhode Island. It's where the Navy sends its best officers, enlisted men and women, to build intellectual capital, to try and attack these problems. Education and listening, I would argue, are two of the principal things we can do to create security. What else? We can hold our values, and they are under attack constantly. They come to us from the Greeks, the Romans, that's Cicero at the top, through the Enlightenment, that's the young Voltaire on the right. Our founding father needs no introduction. Languages. How many people here speak a second language? That's a great number. In the U.S. military, an organization that lives in the world, only about 8% speak a second language. Santayana, the philosopher, said, to understand another language is to live another life. This is a Canadian corporal who taught himself Pashto while he was deployed to Afghanistan. That's the Rosetta Stone, if you've never actually seen it. Languages. Study. Above all, encourage your children to learn a second, a third language. It creates real security. But the key is, we do not, should not, nor will we become the world's policeman. We need allies. We need partners, so we are not carrying this burden alone. NATO, coalitions, 55 nations against the Islamic State. Where else should we look? I would argue in this century, the partner the United States should be pursuing may surprise you. India. India. This is a nation of 1.4 billion people. It will overtake China in this century. English is the lingua franca. It's a democracy. In the last election in India, 800 million people voted. When the president visited, he said, I bring greetings from the world's oldest democracy to the world's largest democracy. India is an extraordinary potential partner for the United States. This idea of connecting our allies, our coalition partners, and friends like India over time builds bridges. That creates security.